Gather around. It's time for the show to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Hey everyone, my name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's Desiree Josen.
Alright, there were so many matches this year that were just too much.
So this won't be a shocker because we've had a handful of really awesome matches that we just can't stop talking about.
How many times have these guys fought? Like it's been quite a bit.
I've been saying this all year. They're just so great to watch. We saw the heel turn coming, and then when it happened, nice and bloody, both dramatic and beautiful.
You are now entering the ring with Chutes and Ladders podcast. Here are your hosts, Desiree and Jason.
Chutes and Ladders, hot takes. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's Desiree Josen.
Alright, the wrestling world has been buzzing, and not just from the matches, but from the debates happening online. Fan engagement is way up, everyone's got a take, and today we're diving headfirst into the fire. From Roman Reigns to ECW to AEW's future, we're hitting the hottest opinions that are shaking up the timeline right now. Des, what are your initial thoughts? I think this is going to be fun.
This is going to be so much fun. I do want to preface this. Don't get upset. We're not trying to trigger anybody. I got some of these from friends that are wrestling fans. Some are just from viewers' responses and just overall forums of just general talk. So we thought this would be fun to, spike up some conversations, get some opinions, throw in our own thoughts and ideas. So yeah, let's get to it.
Absolutely. And also, listen, thank you to the fans who are engaging with us. I'm noticing a lot more both on YouTube and our Instagram. Yeah. Continue to do so because that's what makes this podcast so much fun.
So much fun.
All right. Hot take number one, Roman Reigns peaked at WrestleMania 39. That night against Cody might have been the end of the best version of Roman we've ever seen. The Tribal Chief story was elite, but after WrestleMania 39, the mystique kind of started to fade. Des, what is your take on this?
I don't disagree. I have very mixed feelings about Roman Reigns. I have always said this. He is not my guy. He is not my champion, and that is okay. That doesn't discredit him for what he's achieved and what he's done. So he is amazing at what he does. He's just not my guy, so I do agree with it. I feel like his reign, just holding that title for so long, was exhausting. But I get it if there was nothing else to go against it or to take that place at the time, you just go with what you have. So yeah, I get it. It was a weird time. But yeah, I feel like once Cody walked in, he kind of, I don't know what happened. It just got a little boring. He comes out now still and, gets his shoes back. He'll come in and save one of his cousins and then leaves. So, he's like Flash. He's just in and out.
Yeah, listen, I gotta be honest. I was not a big fan of him having a title for 3 years. I know that's an accolade in itself because it hasn't been done in so long. But if we remember, it's not like he was actually outright winning the matches. He would have the Bloodline save him. It was kind of boring and stale to me. I actually kind of wish he would have won and lost the title a couple times between those 3 years. It would have been just as effective. Like those 3 years of him being champion, I don't necessarily view that as some type of major accomplishment. I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, just let's end this and let's move on now. And then once that actually storyline finished, yeah, I kind of think it was his peak. In addition to that, and I've been saying this, there are some guys that I think they're better off, any wrestler. Once you've been doing it long enough, if you can find another career path, it seems to be acting, I would actually transition over to that. It would not surprise me if he basically transitions into acting sooner rather than later. And if that was his legacy as far as holding the title for 3 years, that's a amazing legacy to kind of, hang your head on. So, but I actually do think that was the peak of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and I have another hot take on him. I feel like the only way that he got so popular the way he did was not just because of him. It was because of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman elevated him.
Oh, no doubt. And when we talk about ECW, we'll get to Paul Heyman some more. So, all right. Hot take number 2, and I love this one. Women's wrestling is in the golden era. Listen, from WWE to AEW, even TNA, the women are delivering main event level storytelling, and their in-ring work every single week is elite. Rhea, Jade, Io, Mercedes, and Toni Storm, Mariah May are redefining what it means to be a superstar. Des, I want to hear your hot take on this.
100% agree. The women are taking over. We have not seen so many superstars that are main eventing, that are headlining, that are the talk of wrestling news, and the actual stars that are just elevated every quarter, every year is the woman. And it's just like they get it. They know how to be emotional and do the psychology of it all. They know how to evolve their character, but they're extremely athletic and they're all different. And I love that. So there are tons of competition, and it's not an oversaturation. It is, every little girl or every little boy, every wrestling fan has their own that they love. Mine right now, Rhea Ripley. Girl, I will say it. I think she is the best women's wrestler that we have, and maybe of all time, just because of the impact that she has had so far. But absolutely agree. Toni Storm, Blake Monroe, Stephanie Vaquer, even our divas that are trying to come back and get with these girls. The fact that these Hall of Famers are like, we want to get with these women now, says a lot.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I'm on board with this. And I think of wrestling back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, yeah, you had Alundra Blaze and Fabulous Moolah and such, but I mean, there are very few. There really wasn't much depth. So becoming a champion back then didn't really mean much. Also, in the 2010s, if you want to call it that, I remember their matches were literally 5 minutes, and that's the only thing they would get. They would have their matches bumped all the time, including at WrestleMania. So they really weren't given the respect that they deserve. Things have changed. The athleticism has elevated to a new level. I mean, a lot of these ladies are former gymnasts or D1 athletes, so the moves that they're doing are way better than some of the men. And I'm 100% agree with you, Des. I think this is the golden era, and we're now officially at a time. Think about it. These women are opening and closing WrestleManias, which is huge. And that would have never happened before. I mean, to be honest, yeah, again, they were either having short matches or they were just managers that were eye candy. I'm just going to call it what it is. But that's no longer the case. Now these women are legit. Men and women love them. We are actually huge fans of these matches. So hats off to all the women in wrestling. Mm-hmm. All right, hot take number 3. CM Punk's 2011 pipe bomb is overrated. Listen, this is controversial, but hear us out. The pipe bomb was iconic, but it's become a myth. It's become a mythology that people forget. It didn't really change much long term. Punk was already over. It didn't really launch an evolution. It reminded fans what real mic work feels like. Still legendary, but was it untouchable? Des, what are your thoughts on this?
I have very mixed feelings, just because I was never a CM Punk fan. So I always called him a crybaby. And even sometimes when I sit there and I see him like sitting there and like pouting, and I'm like, whatever. But I get it. The fans loved it. He was breaking the fourth wall. That wasn't CM Punk talking. That was Phil talking. So that was the fun of it. I guess at that time, and even still, it's something that people don't like to look or peek behind the curtain, and he is always ballsy enough to do it and say what he wants and doesn't care. So I applaud him for doing that. But was it the absolute earth-shattering promo of all time? No, because he ended up leaving, and then he came back 10 years later. So, okay. So and I've always said that he was a little overrated. I'm like, he's not the best athlete. He just talks shit a lot and whines. So I don't know. It's just because I have a love-hate, and because I'm becoming a fan of him now. That's why, where I'm like, But yeah, I can say it's overrated.
Gotcha. No, I'm calling it as is. I think it was great. And I say that because listen, at the time in real life, his contract was about to end, so he basically was like, you know what, might as well just let it all out. Back in the day, they used to have shoot interviews. Shooting interviews were basically when wrestlers were out of contract and they had nothing to lose, so they would tell all. In a way, that's kind of what he did. Maybe he was setting himself up that way because he knew that he wasn't going to be part of WWE anymore. But I thought it was great. I got to be honest. We've heard similar takes, but not like that. And everything he said was just, it got the crowd rocking. I still watch it. I still YouTube that promo to this day. And fast forward all these years later, I thought it was great that John Cena did the same thing. You could argue that was one of John Cena's best promos ever, the reverse pipe bomb. So listen, it lives in folklore. It's been over 10 years. The fact that we're still talking about it just makes a statement of its own. So no, I loved it. I'm not going to say it's overrated. All right, hot take number 4. WWE was better with Vince than Triple H. Okay, this splits the fan base. Vince's era had star power and chaos. Triple H's era has structure and storytelling. Depends what you value more, the spectacle or the sport. Des, I'd love to hear your take on this.
Oh, God, I'm in a weird place just because we grew up during the Vince era. I think everybody did. And we're not talking about other things with Vince. We're talking about him creatively. Price-wise, I love Vince's prices compared to Triple H's. I'm going to be very honest. As an adult paying my own ticket and going to 4 or 5 of their shows this year, my credit card hates me, so thanks Triple H and TKO. So it's more of a business than anything now, rather than Vince was looking for more entertainment. And, if you bring in good quality, good entertainment, the money will come. I get it, different economies. I don't know. I'm in between on this just because, Triple H has done some good stuff. Creatively, he brought back a handful of people that were released under the care of Vince, and and he's listening to the fans. I don't know if Vince would have been so open to the reception of social media and the power of the fans. I'm kind of in between there because they had some good and some bad.
Okay, no, Triple H is way better. I'm sorry. And I say that because, listen, I specifically remember Vince McMahon had the big man fetish where he wouldn't push the smaller athletic guys because he just wanted people to look big. I get it. That worked in the 80s, fine, but from a quality of the match standpoint, not really. Also, listen, and I understand that, Vince was at the helm during the Attitude Era, but I got to be honest, I think a lot of the guys, mainly Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they were writing their own storylines and promos anyway. So again, this is Triple H. Fast forward all these years later, Triple H is listening to the fans. In addition to that, listen, I cannot express this enough. The fact that WWE is on ESPN, which is a way bigger outlet, they're getting mentions on SportsCenter, that's huge. I will agree with you though. These prices they cannot continue to stay this way.
No.
Because for a long time, it was affordable to go to shows, especially even the house show. But come on, like a minimum ticket, like for NXT was like $250 for like the upper level. That's just not going to fly. That's why I didn't go to the one in Fort Lauderdale. So as far as that, like the common fan, the average fan, the prices do need to come down. So that is where I will side with Vince because it was definitely more affordable. Then again, if Vince was at the helm now, maybe he would raise the prices as well because he's a businessman. So we don't know that. But from an actual direction standpoint, no, I think Triple H is way better, and I don't think it's close.
Yeah, he's super receptive to the time now. So, that's the thing. I'm like, money-wise, Vince, creatively, Triple H.
Fair enough. All right, hot take number 5. AEW needs to stop signing WWE talent. AEW is supposed to be the alternative, but at times it feels like WWE the remix, while a few ex-WWE stars elevated the product, over Alliance risk losing AEW's identity. I'd love to hear your take because I definitely have mine.
What I hate about AEW, I love them. I love the thought of them. But I feel like they only grab these names for the nostalgic pop, and then they don't know what else to do with them. So they're just using their name and their resume from WWE to bring attention to one or two Dynamite shows and one giant pop intro, and then that's it.
1000% with you. This is my take. Yeah, 100%. You do not have to be WWE light. You could have had your own identity. One of the things I loved about ECW the most back then is they were not trying to pretend to be WWE. They weren't. They had their own style. It actually eventually turned into the Attitude Era, but, I mean, let them cheat off you, not the other way around. We said it. AEW stands for athletic elite wrestling, but, you know, live up to that name, the actual name, because, like, they do have the best athletes. I think they could actually just build guys on their front. I really do think that a wrestling fan does not need to see the same product twice. They can go for WWE for its production and, you know, just, you know, for what they offer, which is amazing. They can go to AEW for something completely different. I got to be honest with you, a lot of times for the weekly shows, I kind of check out. You know, I've said this many times, I have two TVs next to each other, so if I'm watching a basketball game or something, usually my eyes are that way, just because a lot of times AEW's older WWE guys, they just don't do it for me anymore. They just kind of like what you said, they don't know.
Not good.
Yeah, they're really not. So, yeah, I think they need to stop. I just think they need to focus on who they are and just be that way.
My other thought, too, is if they're going to grab them, use them backstage as a producer or a coach to help the new talent hone their skills with ring psychology, promos, that kind of thing. Like, use their experience rather than their name to gain an audience and build your own.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid point. All right, hot take number 6. Promos are actually better than matches. A 5-star match might impress you, but a 5-star promo will make you a fan for life. Think The Rock, Cena, Flair, Punk, MJF. The voice sells the vision. You can teach moves, but you can't teach connection. This is a great topic, Des. What are your thoughts?
I 100% agree. I feel like this industry is fully physical. So you go in already knowing I have to learn how to take a bump. I have to build my endurance. I have to have the strength to at least, you know, power bomb a 250-pound man. This kind of thing is buildable. When it comes to charisma, personality, how to work an audience and a camera and evolve your character, I feel like that is harder. And, you know, some people have it naturally, and then some really have to work on it. And I feel like if you cannot cut a promo, if you do not know how to talk shit on the mic and not even follow the script, but also just think very quickly on your feet, I feel like that's going to make or break you as a talent. And a lot of times it's not those really awesome matches that get me. It's those people that are head to head in the ring talking to each other, or they're just building up this feud and really good at storytelling. That's what makes me like them.
1000% agree with you. And this is my take, and I've been saying this for quite some time. Weekly shows should be promo based. Mm-hmm. The actual PLEs, pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them, those are where the matches should be. That's actually how you sell for those. There are a lot of times there's matches on the weekly shows that I'm like, I really genuinely wish that it was people just setting up storylines, because that is what's to remember. And that's actually how you do get over. I mean, anytime The Rock comes back, he'll always overextend his promos because they're so good and they get everyone engaged. It bumps a couple of matches, but I promise you, that extra promo time for one of the greatest of all times, if not the greatest, makes a show that much more enjoyable. So, yeah, kind of like you just said. I mean, look, you could be a phenomenal athlete. We love that. But if you really can't build your character, I mean, that's really half, if not more than half of who you are as a wrestler.
Yeah.
All right. Hot take number 7. AEW's biggest weakness is storytelling, not talent. No one doubts the talent. The in-ring product is elite, but fans crave reasons to care. Not just great moves. Wrestling thrives on the story, not just spots. Des, love to hear your thoughts on this. We kind of already talked about it.
we talk about this all the time with them. AEW means well. It's just ran by a fan. Tony Khan, respectfully, I get it. I'm a fan too. I would love to do what you do, but you need a creative team that knows how to do long-term storytelling. You have like AEW has amazing talent. They are incredible. Let me tell you, this past year, their pay-per-views, the quality matches that they've had, amazing. They are just ridiculous. But once it's over, we're like, well, what's going to happen? And everything is short term. There is no long-term big picture goals for any kind of talent. They focus on one or two people like Tony Storm just because they can actually carry themselves. But it's like they don't know what to do. So I feel bad for half of them because they know they're going to have a good match, but then they're like, what else am I going to do? I don't know. It's just, it's not good.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. The storytelling is not good at all. Every once in a while, they'll have some good promos with MJF and some of these other guys. But then, we talked about this earlier in the episode. I mean, they'll have some of these older guys kind of cut promos again. We're like, wait, we already heard that when you were in WWE, so saying it again doesn't really do much. It doesn't really move the needle. And then some of the guys that really don't have much at all, they're mid-carders or even below, they're not given the mic to kind of explain their story. So, yeah, I really do think that if Tony Khan just took an actual CEO role, take a step back, let the creative people kind of do what they do, I really do think the show would be better because, yeah, the talent is there, but there needs to be more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hot take number 8, and this one
here we go
is close to my heart. ECW's legacy is bigger than its actual run. ECW's impact on the industry is massive, but nostalgia sometimes blinds fans to the fact that the actual TV product was rough. It's a legacy built on influence, not perfection, and that's okay. Legends aren't always polished. Okay, Des, you go first because I want to make sure I have my say.
No, I know. I put that purposely in there. When I saw that, I was like, "Ooh, this was a good one." You know what? I'm just gonna say ECW is notorious for just the crazy hardcore. There is the pillars of people that we know. Obviously, Sabu, RVD, Sandman, everybody there. So I feel like a lot of people, and when I say people, a lot of people in the late 90s to now take a lot from them, from the show. They take the moves, characters, they're inspired by a lot of the matches, and everything goes back to ECW. Let's talk about Paul Heyman. The man is a genius. Came from ECW. Look at him now. He's running the show. He is the mouthpiece of Raw. You know what? I don't feel like they got the respect that they deserved when they were current and live, but they get it now, which I appreciate. But go on.
Okay. I don't know if I've mentioned this on our podcast, but I definitely have said it in conversations to other people. If YouTube existed back in the 90s, ECW would still be in business today. 1,000,000%. There's without a shadow of a doubt, I believe that. The reason why, we just mentioned him. Paul Heyman is probably the best creative genius in wrestling history. Mm-hmm. What he created his specific example, and this holds close to my heart because I'm a huge grunge music fan, Nirvana fan. He said wrestling at the time was like hair metal. People got sick of it, and then grunge came and just blew the industry, and that's what happened. The ECW impact eventually led to hardcore matches at WCW at the time before they filed for bankruptcy and got bought out, rather, and then also with WWE turning into the Attitude Era. Even now, when you look at some of these AEW Extreme matches, same thing. These independent promotions, a lot of these guys are actually mirroring ECW. So, is it bigger than its actual run? You could argue that because it's been all these years later and we're still talking about it. I mean, they really were on the air from 94 to 2000. It's only 6 years. Yeah. It's 2025. It's 25 years later. We're still talking about it. And if you heard Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech, he kind of said it. He said it best as far as what the actual legacy of ECW brought, and that to this day, it is still embedded into what we know as wrestling. So you could definitely make that argument. The only thing I will say, man, if you haven't yet, feel free. I mean, the library's on the WWE Network for now. watch it because a lot of the moments in ECW are just unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hot take number 9. Logan Paul is the best celebrity wrestler ever. At this point, it's not even close. The man trains like a pro, wrestles like a natural, and understands how to sell a moment. He's not just a celebrity in wrestling, but he's a legitimate performer who's raised the bar. Des, what do you think about Logan Paul?
I like him. I know a lot of people hate him. He is hateable. I get it. But he plays into it. He's figured out who he is because he has a social media presence. Obviously, he's very comfortable in front of the camera and can be very extra. And that's what we need as a wrestler. But the fact that he's super, super athletic and he is fluid in the ring. I always hated in the beginning that he always got main event matches. I was like, why do you get to be on a PLE and nobody else does? But he puts on a damn good show, and the more I watch him, the more I really, really love him, and I appreciate that he is a genuine fan. So that really comes out as well. So he respects the craft. He gets it, and I will 100% agree. I think he is the best celebrity wrestler.
Yeah, listen, from a wrestling standpoint, no doubt. Some of the bumps he's taken is, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's over and over and over, and he kind of prides himself on that. To be honest, look, if he dedicated himself to, if he ever wanted to become a full-time wrestler, I think he'd be the champion ASAP. Look, social media's changed the game. He definitely has his following, but look, do not take away, what he can do on the mic and what his in-ring ability is. I mean, yeah, I'm going to say yes, actually. On this
Damn good.
Yeah. All right. Hot take number 10, our final take. The Attitude Era is more nostalgic than good. Iconic, absolutely, but if you strip away nostalgia, the wrestling quality was inconsistent and some storylines haven't aged well, that's for sure. The Attitude Era changed the game, but modern wrestling has evolved beyond it. It's okay to love it, but just don't pretend it was perfect. Des, let's hear it from you.
I take this offensively. I am a product of the Attitude Era. I was in middle school and high school. I love it. I still watch it to this day. I praise the men in my life that were Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, all of them. You know what? Just call me a mark for the Attitude Era. I will proudly say it. I love it. I loved everything about it. It was cool. Now, okay, I get it. There were some matches that were probably overrated and overhyped. Probably not the best, but overall, it was pure entertainment, the shock value. It was just it. It was cool. It was when wrestling was hot ice. It brings a lot of warmth in my heart, and I love it to this day. So I will defend it. That was the best time of wrestling. I will defend it to my grave. So, yeah.
Listen, it was amazing. It was a golden age of wrestling. I will say some things haven't aged well, some of the storylines. And actually, we're going to go off script a little. I'm curious because now that there's no way, we praised a woman earlier, there's no way they would put him in a bra and panties match now.
Absolutely not.
No. And I am kind of curious, like now looking back at it, do you kind of think that's cringe, or are you like, you know what, that was just the time, just let it be?
Yes and no, because, I look at it now and I'm like, ooh, yeah, that wouldn't fly. But I also get people are more sensitive now. So I also have to think about it that way. But I was like, no, I could not see Rhea doing that. I would never. And absolutely not. Would I see Becky Lynch doing that? No. Yeah. It was just a different time back then. Granted, it was only like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, but yeah, things are different. So yeah, I wouldn't fly now.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, listen, and even the guys, they would nonstop crotch chop and stuff like that. And
we still do that.
The kids were doing it to their teachers and stuff. So it was so some of that stuff, especially now, it's funny because that era of life in wrestling, it was so bad, and I think a lot of people thought it was only going to get worse. It's actually flipped the opposite way. Now people are super sensitive, and now you cannot say or do a lot of these things. Also, we mentioned this in the past too. WWE has since become a publicly traded company, so the rules are just naturally going to be different. So, yeah, certain things have not aged well, but again, it kind of was the time. I mean, look, there were some storylines in the 80s that were racially charged that I promise you would not go on today.
No.
So that being said, I love the Attitude Era. I'm going to defend it as well. Look, ultimately, this is a show, so just treat it like such, and I loved it.
Just shut up and have some fun.
And final thoughts. Listen, at the end of the day, that's what makes wrestling beautiful. It's subjective. Every fan sees something different. Every take comes from passion. Whether you agree or not, the conversation keeps the sport alive. Des, what are your final thoughts?
I mean, this was a good conversation. It's fun. And it's not to hurt anyone's feelings or say someone is better than the other or this opinion is wrong. That's what makes the wrestling world and community as fans so much fun. Do you have any hot takes, Jason?
This was a fun episode. Look, community. Here's the other advantage that we have now in 2025. Everyone can comment, whether it's social media, Instagram, YouTube, etc. So now we actually get to see what everyday fans like Des and I, what we have to say, and this actually does influence storylines these days. So it's more than just an opinion. It can actually, steer the direction one way or another. So my hot take is just, look, I love this. Keep the engagement up to all the fans out there, especially to us on Instagram, YouTube, etc. Because, again, this is why Des and I do what we do. At the end of the day, we're just wrestling fans that like to talk wrestling. Yeah. All right, and that wraps up this episode of Hot Takes. Give us your hot takes and shoot us a message at the Chutes and Ladders. And like always, please like, share, and subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Josen.
All right, until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Have a great week. Bye, friends.
This has been Chutes and Ladders. Follow us for more content